Hey everybody, welcome to Ottawa Swordplay Saturday drill class, take 2 for the first Saturday of June. Today we're going to be working on techniques from the low guards. We will be starting with our foundation actions, and we're going to be doing a fair amount of footwork this time. So we're going to start with our foot rotations. So feet shoulder width apart, weight evenly distributed between your feet, rotate to one side, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and then we're going to be doing the shoulder rotation. So sword parallel to the floor, upper arm also parallel to the floor, rotate the sword down and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're going to switch to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, next we will be doing the windshield wiper. So hold your sword in the thumb grip, making that nice T with the cross guard in your arm. Rotate all the way to one side, and we're going to switch from the long grip to the short grip and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we'll switch to the other side, and we won't do the grip switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and we're going to do the thumb grip flip. I think we'll skip the sukin today. So you're going to hold the sword in the long grip or in the handshake grip in a relaxed position like this, and flip up so that you're in the thumb grip, making that nice T, and back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3. Remember, keep this as much in the hand as possible. You don't want to be bending your elbow. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So we are going to do a fair amount of footwork today. We're going to be working on gather steps partly, but we are going to be mixing them with passing steps, partly to give us more room to work. So our gather step, our basic step, is whichever foot is back, I'm going to step in a quarter circle forward and out to the side. And when you see me from side on, my back foot does not pass my front foot. And then I do that same circle with my front foot to bring myself back into position. So I moved a little bit forward and a little bit to my left, and I'm going to do that again. And then what we're going to do for this exercise is then we'll rotate on the balls of our feet, and we'll take a passing step back. And then we'll do gather, gather, on this side, rotate, back. All right, but I'm going to start way back here. If you run out of room, turn around and go back in the opposite direction from where you started. So, gather, gather, rotate, back. 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 This is a great one because our steps forward are actually pretty small, so we hardly make any progress at all. Gather, gather, rotate, back. 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 All right, so that was enough of those ones. But wait, there's more. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is going to be the same thing, but we're going to be doing the triangular gather. So instead of gathering towards the direction my foot is pointed, I'm going to gather towards my back heel, and I'm coming back this way into that funny crossfoot position, and then here. And then we'll triangle gather again, and then we'll rotate and pass back. And just for clarity, as before, when I'm doing this triangular gather, my foot comes a little bit forward, but I'm not going like past my heel of my lead foot, just to there. All right. And again, I can start all over here, all the way over here. So we will go triangular gather, rotate, back. 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 On this one, it's really important, as always, that you keep your weight distributed. But we're going triangular gather, rotate, back. And now when I do my triangular gather, I'm stepping with the same foot that I stepped back with. So if I lean too much, I have to shift my weight before I can do the triangular gather. Rotate, back. Triangular gather, 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 rotate, back. All right, that's enough of those ones. We are going to do one more footwork exercise. The class is going to go a little bit over time today in terms of the live class because we've got a late start dealing with our technical difficulties. So don't worry, we will get to sword techniques. And the last footwork is going to be the easiest. We're just going to do gather steps, but we're going to alternate. So I'm starting with my right foot forward. You can start either foot forward. We're going to switch and do this again on the other side. And I'm going to start with a gather step, and then a triangular gather. And then a gather step, and a triangular gather. Gather, triangular gather. Gather, triangular gather. Gather, triangular gather. So much faster. Triangular gather. Gather, triangular gather. All right. Switching lead foot. So I was right foot forward last time. I'm going left foot forward now. And gather, triangular gather. 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 All right, good. So as I said earlier, we're going to be working from our low guards, and we're going to start with our waker from the barrier guard or shranklet. And if we're holding the sword square in front of us to do the barrier guard, I'm going to drop my sword to my right, step back with my right foot, and I'm going to let the sword hang like this. But I am in the thumb grip, so my long edge is up. And from here, this is really the training guard for the waker. If I want to do a waker, I'm going to drive the pommel as I bring my hands forward to bring my sword up in that kind of windshield wiper action. And I can step wide, I can rotate on the balls of my feet to step more forward. Today we're going to do this with a bit more of a wide spring, so we're not going to do that rotation. And then I'm going to pull the pommel as I triangle step and shoot the point long. All right? So we're just going to do 10 of these. So it's going to be sword, step, shoot, triangle. All right? And sword, step, shoot, triangle. 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 3 more. Sword, step, shoot, triangle. Sword, step, shoot, triangle. 1 more. Sword, step, shoot, triangle. I'm doing this at fairly close range with my pal. But this is a technique that often invites a close attack so that we can deal with somebody who's coming in close. Now, all we're going to do this time is switch. So I'm now right foot forward, I'm in the barrier guard, and my hands are crossed when I'm in this low guard. So as I bring the sword forward, I'm cutting with the short edge, and I'm pulling that pommel, step, shoot, crossing my hands again with the triangle. All right? So we'll do 10 of these again. So sword, step, shoot, triangle. 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 That's 5. Sword, step, shoot, triangle. Sword, step, shoot, triangle. 3 more. Sword, step, shoot, triangle. Sword, step, shoot, triangle. Last one. Sword, step, shoot, triangle. All right. Now, one of the things about the barrier guard is, although we usually follow our standard rule of whatever side our sword is on, the other foot is forward, because my hands are square and my shoulders are square, I can actually do the reverse without crossing up my structure. So this is the barrier guard, but I've got the wrong foot forward, except for in this case it's all right. The problem is, if I'm cutting this way with a waker and passing forward, I'm stepping out of structure now with this part of the technique. And that can work. There are times when it makes sense, but it actually makes more sense to do this with either a triangular gather or with a gather. And we are going to start with the triangular gather. So the way this is going to work, I'm right foot forward, long edge up, barrier guard, and I'm going to go sword, triangle, shoot, step. All right? So sword, triangle, shoot, step. 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 That's 7. Sword, triangle, shoot, step. 2 more. Sword, triangle, shoot, step. Last one. Sword, triangle, shoot, step. All right. So the reason I started with a triangular gather in this case, and we broke it right down as we usually do, but these things can flow together, and this technique is one where I actually think it is perfectly okay to do your step simultaneously with your sword action. If I do my sword action, I'm bringing it across, and it takes a while to get all the way to where I'm covered, but if I'm doing the two kind of at the same time, I'm moving behind my sword at the same time as I'm moving my sword in front of me. So it gives me the coverage more quickly. Added to that, if an attack is coming in from this side, I'm moving away from that attack, giving me more time to do the technique and needing less time. So we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to start left foot forward, and we're going to be crossed with the sword pointing out to the left. We're going to pull, triangle, shoot, step on this side. And this time I'm going to face you just for a change. So, sword, triangle, shoot, step. Reset. 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 Sword, triangle, shoot, step. That's 5. Sword, triangle, shoot, step. Sword, triangle, shoot, step. 3 more. Sword, triangle, shoot, step. 2 more. Sword, triangle, shoot, step. Last one. Sword, triangle, shoot, step. All right. Now, there are occasions when we want to do this same technique, but we actually do want to gather into it. So, if I'm starting right foot forward here, I'm going to move my sword, gather, shoot, step. All right? So, I'm starting right foot forward, sword on my right, long edge up, sword, gather, shoot, step, reset, 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 sword, gather, shoot, step. That's 5. Sword, gather, shoot, step. Sword, gather, shoot, step. 3 more. Sword, gather, shoot, step. 2 more. Sword, gather, shoot, step. Last one. Sword, gather, shoot, step. Now, we can do the same thing on the other side as well, and you know what? We will. So, left foot forward, sword on my left. Again, I'm in a cross gait, and it will be sword, gather, shoot, step. I should mention this one is a bit weird, because when we're crossed hands, we're on our weak side, and then by gathering into it, we're trying to use the strength of our structure, but we're on our weak side. This often works better for drawing a person pushing back and then going through with this, but we're not going to do that today. All right, sword, gather, shoot, step. Reset, 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 sword, gather, shoot, step. That's 5. Sword, gather, shoot, step. Sword, gather, shoot, step. 3 more. Sword, gather, shoot, step. 2 more. Sword, gather, shoot, step. Last one. Sword, gather, shoot, step. Got ahead of myself with the sword on that last one. All right, so what we're going to look at now is we don't use the barrier guard very much, or our system, our historical sources don't recommend it that much. They usually recommend the gate, which is the same thing with the point pointed forward. So what can we do that's kind of similar? Well, one of the things is anytime we're in a low guard, we're inviting an attack. We're wide open and we're expecting that attack to come in fast and hard. So when that attack comes, we want to make sure we're covering any opening. So we're going to do a circle that is really similar to the lightning changer, although it's actually just a half circle. We're going to circle up like this, and if you can see, I'm using my right hand as a fulcrum, and I'm steering with my pommel. And I'm extending a little bit as I do that, but I'm just making a circle, so anywhere anybody attacks me, I will pick up their attack. And as before, if I do that with a triangle step, I'm actually pulling my target out of their reach, and my sword's already forward, so now I can just step in to stab them. So this is just like lightning changer or the wheel or any of those. We're just starting from a low guard. So we're going to do circle, triangular, gather. All right, 10 of those. Circle, triangular, gather. Reset, circle, triangular, gather. Reset, circle, triangular, gather. Reset, circle, triangular, gather. Reset, circle, triangular, gather. That's 5, circle, triangular, gather. Reset, circle, triangular, gather. Reset, 3 more, circle, triangular, gather. Reset, circle, triangular, gather. Last one, circle, triangular, gather. All right. So, of course, we can do the same thing on the other side. We'll circle on this side, and again, it's a little bit trickier because we want to use the strength of our upper hand, but we still want to mostly do the action with our lower hand of getting that circle. But it's going to be circle, triangular, gather. All right? Circle, triangular, gather. Reset, circle, triangular. I'm going to do that one again. Circle, triangular, gather. Reset, circle, triangular, gather. Reset, circle, triangular, gather. Reset, circle, triangular, gather. That's 5, circle, triangular, gather. Circle, triangular, gather. 3 more, circle, triangular, gather. Circle, triangular, gather. 1 more, circle, triangular, gather. All right, now, this one, even more than the previous one where we were doing the waker, we often want to pick up our opponent's weapon and then step in with a gather to really choke up their distance and give them less time to respond. So from the long version of the gate, right foot forward, sword on my left, I'm going to do that same circle, gather, step. All right? So 10 of these, circle, gather, step. Reset, 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 circle, gather, step. 3 more, circle, gather, step. Reset, circle, gather, step. Last one, circle, gather, step. And very last thing, we're going to do the same thing on our short side. Once again, we're going to circle, gather, and step. We're using the strength of our structure, but we're on our weak side. So quite often, this would actually be leading into a going through wrestling technique, but today we're going to leave out that part. So, circle, gather, step, reset, circle, gather, step, reset, circle, gather, step, reset, circle, gather, step, reset, circle, gather, step. That's 5. Circle, gather, step, reset, circle, gather, step. 3 more, circle, gather, step. 2 more, circle, gather, step. Last one, circle, gather, step. All right, so we really only did 2 techniques, and they're really kind of variations of the same thing. But honestly, our whole system is just variations of the same thing anyway. It's just a question of applying things correctly. I hope that that was useful for those of you in the live stream. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Thank you for your patience, and I hope to see you next time.